Are you tired of spending lots of hours editing photos from your last photo shoot? Are you always stressed out about being late on the delivery of the photos? Then Retouch4me has you covered. Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on my channel. If you are new here, I am PhotoRabs. I'm a portrait photographer based in France. I also do lots of videos about photography, filmmaking, camera tech related reviews, unboxings, action cams, tips and tricks, and so on. If you are interested in these topics, I highly appreciate if you go subscribe to my channel. That's a massive help. And if you'd like to support my channel even more, you can buy your stuff via my affiliate links down below. If you buy through these links, you don't pay extra money, but you help my channel a lot. As a portrait photographer, I always try to deliver my edited photos to my clients as quickly as possible so they can post them on their social networks. And that's really helpful in order to have more interactions with their audiences, and they can communicate really quickly about the photo shoot they've done with me, and that's really helpful in my case. And I always try to maintain this kind of workflow to deliver the photos edited and ready to be posted as fast as possible. On set, I always try to make everything as good as possible, so I have minor tweaks later on in post on Photoshop when it comes to the photo editing process. But sometimes the makeup artist is not available, or we don't have a makeup artist for this specific shoot. So I have, in all cases, to go over all the photos later on my computer and check them and make my ratings, my selection before going to the Photoshop to start my photo editing process. I've been using Adobe Photoshop for more than 10 years now, and I've built myself like a workflow that I always use and apply when it comes to portrait photo editing. First, I start with the skin. I try to remove the blemishes, I try to adjust the small artifacts on the skin, and then I apply the frequency separation to make the skin even better, and then I adjust the skin tones, and that's for the skin. Basically, I do some dodge and burn on the skin as well and on the body parts, and then I try to clean the background. I remove the dust and the dirt from it in order to make the overall image more appealing. But that's time consuming because you can spend lots of hours working on one single photo shoot. You can make your photo shoot in 1 hour or 2 outdoors, and then you have to spend more than 2 or 3 hours editing several tens of photos. And this was a huge time consuming for me until I discovered Retouch4me. Retouch4me is an AI-based software that can be used whether on its standalone version that you can download for free from their website, or you can use it as plugins in Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Lightroom. This software allows you to achieve fast and professional edits for your photo shoot without passing lots of time on Photoshop, on adjusting layers, and so on. It's based on the neural network of this software that can detect automatically everything you need in the photo. For example, if you take the Heal plugin, it will detect all the artifacts and the blemishes on the skin, and by that you can remove them with one single click. Of course, you have the mask. If you would like to mask out some parts of the images, you can do that easily without problems at all. And the huge advantage of the software, besides the time saving, is that the skin texture, the original skin texture, is preserved. A quick disclaimer, this video is sponsored by Retouch4me, but I wouldn't have accepted this sponsorship if I don't believe in this software and if I don't rely on it in my professional work. Thank you Retouch4me for sponsoring this video. Retouch4me offers lots of plugins. I only have 5 of them, and I know they are not cheap, but in my case, I can save lots of time when it comes to the photo editing process on my computer, and this time that I saved, I can make lots of other photo shoots and I can gain more money. So for me, this is really interesting to have these plugins, to have more income, to have more photo shoots and more clients that I can shoot with. So make your own calculations to see how much time you can save using these plugins if you are a portrait photo editor. And then speaking of the price of these plugins, use the code down below to save 20% extra on your purchase from Retouch4me. And now enough talking about the software and these plugins, and let's go to Photoshop to see how I use these plugins in my daily workflow. This shot was made during a workshop where I wanted to show the participants that we can achieve great photos even with cheap lights and cheap setups. If I want to clean the backdrop here, I would have spent lots of time to check every single part of the image. But with the help of the Clean Backdrop plugin, now it's too easy and too fast. You can see by yourself that with one click of a button, we get rid of lots of stuff in the background, and the background is much more clean now than when it was before the start of this process. All I have to do later on in Photoshop is to use the remove tool, which is a new tool that we have now with the AI features of Photoshop, to get rid of all the other stuff in the background, such as these marks here and here, and of course this one here, and the stitching line between the backdrop and the floor. Now you can see everything in real time because I'm not accelerating this video in this part, so you can see by yourself how much time it took to edit this photo. Now let us jump to another photo from the same photo shoot. You can see that the skin is not perfect, so I will use the Heal plugin from Retouch4me. Once it's open, I can zoom in the photo to see all the imperfections, and you can see the adjustments that were made automatically. And if I would like to check the mask, for example, I can see every single dot here in white that was corrected via this plugin, which is insane to find all of these imperfections in a click of a button. That's really amazing. Once I'm happy with the result, I can click apply and go back to Photoshop. Now I can zoom in Photoshop and toggle between before and after to see what I've made in this photo in a click of a button. Now I would like to adjust the skin tones, for example. So let's open the skin tone plugin under the filter menu on Photoshop. Once it's open, I zoom again in the image so I can see clearly what I can adjust in it. And I will use the mask so I can see the zones that were corrected and adjusted with the help of this plugin from Retouch4me. Once I'm happy with the result, I can click on apply and voila, that's done. I can toggle again between the before and after if I would like to check once again the results. Let's zoom a little bit. Now I will open the dodge and burn in order to add some depth into the image. And again, everything can happen with the single click of a button. That's the most interesting thing in these plugins. You can save lots of times when using them instead of using the normal layers that we used to do in Adobe Photoshop. And now I will adjust the volume of this photo to add more depth and more volume to it. So you can see the before and after. It's like you add more contrast to the skin and to the face. We can adjust the blend mode with this slider, and once we are satisfied with the result, we can apply, and the photo is totally finished in like maybe 1 minute or 2. We made lots of changements easily. What do you think about the result for this photo, for example? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Let's open the third photo now. I will adjust first the backdrop here with the remove tool on Adobe Photoshop. This is an AI tool that was added recently to Photoshop. And now I will open these plugins that I already have from Retouch4me in order to make the photo even better. I will start with the backdrop, so I can remove all the wrinkles, all the dust, all the dirt from the background, and voila, now it's almost done. I can use once again the remove tool to blend the backdrop with the ground, with the floor, and voila. Once I'm satisfied with the result, I can open the heal tool once again to adjust the skin a little bit, to remove the small imperfections, the blemishes. With the single button, everything is repaired on the skin, and that's really amazing and really fast. Now I will adjust the skin tones a little bit, because you know, when you use cheap lights and when you use like normal lights, the skin tones cannot be perfect. This tool is really amazing to make the skin tones amazing on the photos that you took. I can check the mask, so I can see the zones that were adjusted with this filter. And if I'm happy with the result, I can apply the effect and go back to Photoshop. Let's make some dodge and burn now. Sometimes I don't use the dodge and burn a lot, but here, for the sake of this video, for the sake of this tutorial, I wanted to show you how I use the dodge and burn with a single click of a button without making real dodging and burning on the photo. Let us use now the portrait volume in order to give this photo more depth. And this effect is really nice, but you have to go slowly on it and not to exaggerate it a lot. And now the result is really nice. I have an interesting portrait now that I'm really happy with. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I noticed that with the Heal plugin, the navel was removed. So I will open again the original photo on top of this edited one, and then I will mask the image. I will invert the mask, and then I can paint with white on the navel, and voila, the portrait is now finished.
That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you find it interesting and helpful, please leave a like under this video. That helps me a lot with the YouTube algorithm. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done it, and feel free to share this video around. That's really helpful for my channel. And thank you for watching, and thank you Retouch4me for sponsoring this video once again. Ciao for now.